I hope everyone's keeping safe in these crazy times. As Tracy said, just a quick intro. I don't really want to talk too much about myself, but I've been doing, I've been a full-time online marketer for the last 15 years, servicing clients in South Africa, the UK, Canada, Australia, and the US. I'm extremely passionate about it. I'm actually absolutely blown away by all the various tools that are out there, and I play with them on a daily basis. My work's more a hobby than a work. I'm extremely lucky in that regard. So I want to share some of that info with you guys and give you some tips on how to get started with Facebook. And also another thing just to keep in mind is if you do have anything as we go, if you don't mind popping your questions into the chat, it's quite nice to be able to answer those questions as we go. And I would encourage you to ask those questions. We do have a Q&A time allocation at the end where we'll maybe go into the questions in more detail. But please pop those questions in as we go, and I'll do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. I'm going to share my screen to get started. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
All right. So I just want to quickly start off with a little PowerPoint about what we're going to be talking about today. So as you said, Tracy, it's about how small businesses can best utilize and get started marketing their businesses on Facebook. What we're going to cover today is the following, the short introduction, which we're doing now, and who the webinar is for. So basically this webinar is, as Tracy mentioned, I mean, my kind of history and my passion is helping small and medium-sized businesses. So we're not talking about big corporate businesses. I'd imagine most of you are involved in small and medium-sized businesses. And this webinar is aimed at you. It's aimed at teaching you guys the very basics. It's important to know that what you need to get started, you don't actually need to physically have a website on Facebook. Sorry, you don't actually need to have a website to get marketing on Facebook. Some people actually utilize Facebook as their primary marketing channel to be able to get leads and sales. So it is quite important. Obviously, it's a lot better for businesses that have got a website, but it's not essential. You can actually start marketing your businesses without a website, purely using Facebook. One thing I want to just go back to quickly while we're here is, if you don't mind, I want to just run through those basic Facebook stats that Tracy touched on in the beginning and when she mentioned it. Facebook stat number one is just the amount, and I don't think I really need to hop on this too much. I'm sure I would be very surprised if anyone on this call isn't on Facebook already on a personal capacity, but just looking at the actual numbers and the salient points that we should take away from Facebook is that the average user spends an average amount of 35 minutes of his every single day on Facebook. The average user has 155 Facebook friends. There are more than 70 million businesses currently that have Facebook pages, which is a quite staggering number. There are many more businesses that have Facebook pages than have websites. So also important to note. Currently, as of, well, this data is about 6 months old, but currently has on more than 5 million advertisers, and 95% of agencies such as myself, we think that Facebook is one of the very, very best ways of getting the best ROI. Oh, Les says you're not on Facebook. Les, maybe we can help you at some point to get onto Facebook, but you should definitely check it out. The other thing about it is that let me actually go back. Sorry about that. Is that 100 million hours of video are watched by Facebook users each day. And video is something we'll talk about later. It's possibly the best way to market your product or service on Facebook. And people think it's extremely difficult to create a marketing video. It's actually not. Inside the Facebook console, you're able to create a marketing video pretty much within 5 minutes. So those are the beginning stats that I want to look at. The next range of stats that we should look at is this particular one. And this is the one that I actually want to show you the most, is that on average, a user accesses his personal Facebook profile on average 8 times a day. 74%, this is US people, but we can extrapolate to South Africa. It's pretty much the same. 74% of US users use Facebook daily. The average Facebook user, again, clicks on ads 8 times a month. That's what I wanted you to see over there. And the next stat that we should look at is this. Currently, Facebook has 2.2 billion users. There are 400 Facebook users that sign up every minute, and 500,000 Facebook users are added daily. The other thing just to note, which is interesting from a marketing perspective, is that roughly 90% of people access Facebook via their mobile device, which is, again, incredibly important. People are using Facebook all the time, when they're on the go, at home, but they are using that pretty much all the time. The average revenue per user is $6.42, which according to my maths is about 100 Rand. So that's how much Facebook makes on average per user on their system. And their annual global revenue is over $17 million from ad revenue. So that's a little bit about Facebook that I wanted to harp on. So really what I want to show is it's a platform that has incredible reach. All your potential customers are on Facebook, or let's say 99% of them. Will get less on soon. And it is definitely a channel that we need to be looking at in order to market our business. Is everyone still awake? Right. All right, so we've covered that, just a little bit of the introduction, who the webinar is for. As I've said to you guys, you don't need to have a website to get marketing on Facebook. You just need to have a Facebook personal profile. Important to know. The starting point now is the actual technical stuff, which I want to show everyone is, Les was asking $6.4 per day or per month. It's actually $6.4 per year on average per user. It's just an average. It's an average amount of revenue that Facebook makes per user per year. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually exit this, and I'm going to go into my Facebook console. If you just bear with me. Most of you will now have seen this. This is the Gary Levy personal, just my normal Facebook profile that we will all have. We should all be seeing the new Facebook interface, which when you log in on a desktop, it looks exactly like this. And what I want to do is I want to go and just show you how easy it is to create a page. We're actually going to create a page together. We're going to publish it and make it live in all of 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm going to actually start off by showing you how easy it is to create a Facebook page. So let's actually just go back there. On your Facebook console, this is the desktop view of Facebook. And when you actually log into Facebook on a laptop computer or a desktop computer, that's what you'll see. You simply go to Pages, which is over there on the left. And there's a blue button here which says Create New Page. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. The page name, which is the actual over here, what we're going to create. And I'm just going to call this, I'm going to be deleting it after this. So I'm going to call this Demo AutoJet page. The category, Facebook has a lot of predefined categories. So let's go and put let's put non-profit organization. You would select your business or service from the predefined categories. One thing to note here is that sometimes the category that Facebook have got in their database won't actually be exactly what your business is. But unfortunately, you've got to pick the category that most closely fits your business. The description is going to be, this is simply a demonstration description for the AutoJet webinar. That's all you really need to do to create your page. You say create page. By the way, on that description that we just did, it's very good to include a lot more information than what I included there. And the reason for that is that over time, Facebook will rank your page. It's almost like if you've heard of SEO, but the more information you put in here, the more likely your page is to appear in the Facebook search results. So just a little thing that we want to note there. The profile picture is on your Facebook page. There are only two pictures that you need to have. The first one is this one over here. The first one is this one over here, which is your profile picture, which is a square image. So you actually need to have two images designed for your page. I can at a later date in the Q&A, you can chat to me and I'll tell you how you can actually get that done free. And there are, if you've heard of the likes of Canva, you can actually go and design your own images again, very, very quickly and free of charge. Just for the purposes of this webinar, I've designed these two images. So the profile pic, which will be the one that will appear here. Let's go to GL Marketing. Let's go to the AutoJet webinar. And the profile pic, I've just created a little black background with the word demo. So that would now appear here on your Facebook page. And the cover photo, I've done the reverse black on white, which would go here. Obviously, for your particular business, you would design them slightly different. And there's a strategy around what you should put for your cover photo and profile. But again, just to show you, those are the only two images that you need. It's not like a website where you need to have images for each and every page. There are only two images that you need to create a Facebook page. Let's just see a question from Charlene and Adi, just to answer those two. Charlene, yes, once your page is created, pretty much everything's editable. So a very good question, but everything that we create here, everything we could go in and change these photos. We could go in and change the description. I'll show you that now once we've created the page, but everything is editable. And then Adi's asked, can you edit your category and have it listed with multiple words? No, the answer is, I'll just show you now. The answer is, what happens is, let's say you were a plumber. You would type that in and you would have to choose one of these categories that are predefined. So it's not editable. If you were a plumber, you would go with plumbing service or the one closest to you, but you actually don't have the ability to edit these. You'd literally just select what Facebook gives you as an option. I hope that answers the question. And now that's all there is to the creation of a Facebook page. So just to go again, you would give your page a name. Now, the name would be your business name. Let's say Gary was a plumber and Gary's Plumbing Services was called Sydenham Plumbing Services. That would be the name of the page, Sydenham Plumbing Services. I would select plumbing service as the predefined Facebook category. Under the description, I would give as much information about the Sydenham Plumbing service that I offer, to say that we cater for clients in the following areas, etc. But again, I'm going to get into that a little bit more. We would just go in and hit save. And as far as creating a Facebook page, it's as simple as that. Our Facebook page is now, I'm not going to click on that for now, but our Facebook page is now created. And there's our Facebook page. When you create it, the next step is, as you can see here, you create a username, and it's a username so that people can message your page directly. So I'm going to go and call this AutoJet webinar. It's almost, if you think of it, it's almost like an email address. And I would say create username. And that is now as simple as it is to create a page. As you've seen, it's the hardest thing there are literally the images here, because some of us are not that creative. But there are tools out there, the likes of Canva, where you can log on and you can literally just use one of their templates, create what you want for your, this is called, just to go, this is called your Facebook cover photo, and this is called your Facebook profile photo. And you would literally go and create and upload just in the same way that I've done there. We've got some other questions over here from Tova. Do you need a Facebook page specifically for your business, or can you use your personal page? Now, that's a question I get asked very often. And Tova, the reality is that for your business, you should separate your business from your personal page. That's the way that Facebook have actually set their platform up. In theory, you could start posting content on Tova Goldstein, but it's not the way to go. You should set up a business page. And the second thing is a question from Shalel. Pleasure, Tova. Is it mandatory for Facebook business page to be linked to a personal page? Again, excellent question. The answer is yes. You can only set up a Facebook business page if you have a personal profile, and it gets automatically linked to your personal profile. So yes, that is mandatory. So I want to just stop there and just ask I think it's quite important, because that is the starting point for getting your business online, is creating a Facebook business page. I just want to stop there for a few seconds and ask anyone, are there any other questions around this?
Yes, please.
Yeah, if you want to open up, if people want to unmute themselves and just ask some questions around the Facebook page itself, please feel free.
Please, can you tell me what are the privacy laws? I know that on WhatsApp, I feel a lot safer when I'm in a group, even though they can copy it. You know, it's very safe. It's a very comfortable place to be in a WhatsApp group, and it's very easy to start. With Facebook, are there privacy issues? Will personal information be spread in a matter of minutes to people I don't want to talk to?
Again, brilliant question, Laura. When you set up your business page, it's totally independent of your post, even though it's linked to your personal profile. It's only linked to your personal profile so that you can actually access the page. But I'll actually show you that now. Once your page is live, let me actually do this. I'll go and actually show you. Can you see now when your page is live, you've got a whole range of settings that are available to you. So it will actually tell you, you can limit it to whoever you want to see your page. So on your personal page has privacy settings, and your business page also has privacy settings. So you can, the ability to make your business page and the stuff that you're going to be putting onto your business page is totally independent of your personal profile and totally customizable to your needs. If you don't only want people in the Sandton area seeing your page, you can do that. If you want only people that are your friends seeing what you put on your business page, you can do that. If you want to set it that only people that are your friends can go and comment on your business posts, that's totally, what's the word? It's totally, you can do it. But yes, Facebook in actual fact, and I was going to touch on the privacy later, which we'll do when we talk about the Facebook pixel, but privacy of information is one of the critical things that Facebook is focusing on all the time. If we see what happened with the elections and the US election, I don't know if any of you guys watch CNN and that, but they are incredibly aware of the need for people to only show content to the people that they want to show content to. So again, in a nutshell, yes, you can make it, and you can only let the people see. It's just the stuff that you're going to be posting and advertising, but you would have to set that up in your settings of your page once you've set up the page. Does that make sense?
Can I ask a question?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you limit who you get information from so that your business page doesn't get filled with everybody's personal junk?
You can do that too. You can give the ability. So what your question is asking is people that are actually going to be messaging or contacting the page. You want to limit the people that actually contact you or make posts on your page. Yes, in the same way that I answered the other one, the very same thing applies. So yes, you can limit the amount of spam. You can't eliminate it entirely, but you can eliminate 90%. It's the same as email. You can eliminate. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. So again, to go back to
cancel
your
a page.
Oh, yes, there was a question. Yes, you can basically cancel the page at any time.
Oh,
So
where do I go into?
Yeah, not only can you cancel the page, but what you can also do is you can put it in draft that it's not live, but should you decide that you want to actually make the page live again at a later stage, you can do that too.
Where would I do that?
Again, it's in the Facebook settings, which we can maybe look at that a bit later.
Oh, thanks.
Any other questions around the page itself?
Yeah, sorry, Gary. I just wanted to find out if you wanted to say there were other people in your business who you wanted to put up some marketing stuff and that, and you wanted them to do it themselves. Could you make other people admins or allow them to edit the page?
Yeah, again, great question, Daniel. Yes, absolutely. Once you have a page set up, you are automatically the admin on the page, but you can grant admin access to any other Facebook user. So if you wanted other people in your business to be able to post on the page and reply to the page and be an admin on the page, you can set them up as admin on the pages, again, in these settings. But again, they would obviously have to be a Facebook user to enable them to do that.
Perfect.
Okay, and you asked how many business pages can you have? Interesting. I don't actually know the answer to that, but I can tell you that I currently run about 169 business pages. I think I've got at the moment for clients and my own pages. So it's either unlimited or it's a significant amount over 150. Cool. Right. Is any other questions on the page itself?
No.
Great. Well, then let's move.
Sorry, can I ask, please? If
Yeah,
I'm on
sure.
WhatsApp, please, Gary, if I'm on WhatsApp and I've got many WhatsApp groups, and it takes me time every day to go through it, and also then I have emails as well. So the emails are separate, but is it a good idea to be on WhatsApp and in a big way and also be on Facebook? Because then I'm not going to have any time for email. It's just too much. What would you suggest?
Okay, so WhatsApp is a interesting platform. Facebook has got let me answer it like this. Facebook has got WhatsApp integration, meaning on your page, instead of somebody sending you a message using Facebook Messenger, they can actually send you a message. They can click on your page, and from your page, they can actually WhatsApp you. What your question, I think, is in relation to how do you manage all of the contacts that you get? Meaning, am I understanding?
Yes, it's just too time consuming to be on both for me.
Well, that means that you're very busy. That's what we need. Look, there are also things like, again, we're getting a little bit off topic, and I can maybe answer it in a little bit more detail in the Q&A. I think if you can save it for that, if we've got time. But there are what they call automations that are available where you are getting many Facebook messaging automations, and you are getting many WhatsApp automations. There are ways that you can set an automated response based on what people are messaging you. And I can maybe, as I say, get into that in more time, but it's a little bit off the scope. So let's hold that for the Q&A.
Thank you.
Pleasure. All right. So what you need to get started, we've covered that. You don't need to have a website, preferable, but you should. We've started now how to set up your Facebook business page. So we've covered that. I'm going to pick it up a little bit, but I wanted to spend a significant amount of time on the page and just show you how easy it really is. Now, the Facebook pixel, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Facebook pixel. And in actual fact, it relates to that data privacy question that we had earlier. But what I want to explain, and I'm going to go onto my own website to explain this to you guys. And so that you know, Facebook have got the ability to, for a user, this is for the guys that have got websites. Let me just go into my GL marketing. This is my own website. If you want to have a look, by the way, I look a lot better in person than I do over here. So what I want to tell you guys is that now I've now gone onto my GL marketing website. Facebook have got a piece of code that that a user inserts at the back end of their website, and I'll tell you what that is. It's called the Facebook pixel. I'm just logging into the back end of my site, and I'll explain to you why it's so important. But in the back end of my site, I have the ability to put in what's called the Facebook pixel. Let's just see if I've actually got it set up now for the site. I don't want to be too technical, but I just want to show you what this is and it'll make sense to you. Just have a look. Okay, so if you can all see over here, there's a piece of code that Facebook will give a user. So I'm able to, from my Facebook account, get this code and put it on the back end of my site. Don't worry too much about the mechanics. It's extremely easy, 10 seconds to actually, it's literally copying and pasting, but I'll tell you what it does. It means that any user that visits a particular part of my website is now being tracked inside of Facebook. And the reason that that's important is that I can then, inside of Facebook, serve an ad to people that have visited my website. So you could have, on the Orchard, if any of you have checked me out and been on my website, I can now, tomorrow, hit you with an ad inside of your Facebook newsfeed showing you an advert related to GL marketing. So it's something that's called remarketing, and it's a Facebook pixel. Again, is a piece of code that goes on the back of your website that tracks people coming to your website so that you can then advertise to those people on Facebook. It's a lot more sophisticated than that. And I do want to go into it a little bit more now, because let's say somebody now comes to my website homepage, they're not interested in this gorgeous face, and they decide they hate Gary Levy and they don't want to do any work with him, they just leave. But let's say somebody actually clicks on this button and they click on the Let's Chat button. They've actually visited they're interested, they clicked on the Let's Chat button and they go and fill in this form. Yes, Gary, we want to talk to you. Let's see what you can do for us. Those people go into a separate remarketing list. So I could serve an ad using the Facebook pixel only to the people that filled in the form on my website. Likewise, I could do, if I've got a video on my site, and let's say it's a 5-minute video and people watch 5 minutes, using the Facebook pixel, I could then target those particular people with an advert based on the fact that they watched the full video on my website. I could use the Facebook pixel to go and target, I could say to the Facebook pixel, only target people in their newsfeed when they've visited more than 4 pages on my website. So there's an incredible amount of targeting that happens using the Facebook pixel, and I'm harping on it so much because it is the killer application on Facebook. And the reason it is like that is because the data shows that generally people are in business, they either need leads or they need online sales. People will generally not click on an ad, visit the website, and either buy straight away or contact straight away. They're usually 3 to 5 what they call touch points. So generally what would happen is you would serve them an ad. You could do an ad on Google or any other platform, or Pinterest or Instagram. You would serve them an ad, they would come to your website, but they wouldn't convert, meaning they wouldn't fill in that form to contact me. The conversion and the significant conversions, meaning a significant amount of sales and the significant amount of leads that you will generate, are when those people have seen your brand, they've checked you out on the website, they then get subsequent an advert in their Facebook newsfeed, and then they click on it. So the pixel is kind of an absolute core feature of Facebook. And that's where the real action happens. And I would almost go so far as to say is to set up your Facebook page and not set up a Facebook ad account with a pixel. You are missing kind of 90% of the action, if I can put it that way. Let's just see a question here. Laurie's asking, where is this pixel code? So Laurie, again, I'll rather answer that in the end, because it's you actually need to have a Facebook ad account as well. Again, just signing up for it, and you pick up the pixel inside of your Facebook ad account. So I'll go into, again, a little bit more technical, but for the basis of explanation, please note that the pixel, the Facebook pixel, is incredibly, incredibly important. Laura, quite correct. So that in turn means that a website is quite crucial part to the business. Correct. I would strongly recommend any business to have a Facebook page and a website, because they run in conjunction with each other. You know, you would set, as you can see, Facebook, you can link to the website, set up remarketing, etc. I did make the point right in the beginning of the webinar that it is possible to start marketing your business purely with a Facebook page, but that's not the correct way to go about it. Right, now the next thing that we need to answer is content, your Facebook page content. Now we've got a Facebook page, now what? So let's go and have a look at it. Once we've got our page, the question is, what do we do with it? And the idea is to start getting visitors, let me just remove this, to our page. And the way that we get visitors to our Facebook page is by adding content to the page. I mean, I'm sure we've all been to many different Facebook pages of our favorite brands, our favorite stores, you know, the people that we follow. It might be people that we're interested in, they've got their pages. But the idea is that we now need to create content, because nobody's going to find our page just by the fact that we've built a page. You can't build a page and then just hope that people come. So what we actually need to do is we would now need to go and post content on the page. Now, there's two ways, again, to get business on Facebook. You can do what they call organic posting, where you use your page and you go every day, you would post your product or an offer or a useful piece of information. But to be honest, that's not really going to get you a significant amount of traffic, i.e. people seeing your content. The significant time and where you actually utilize is that the posts that you actually create on your Facebook page, you actually now promote using Facebook's paid advertising. Again, we'll cover that shortly, but what you need to start doing as you have a Facebook page is you need to start promoting. I'll show you one of the pages that one of my favorite clients, I'll give them a little punt now, is Ascot Cosmetics. I hope you've all been buying your perfume from them. But I'll just show you what a page post is for want of the people that haven't seen. But it's basically, let's do this. But all of these are posts on their website. So for instance, this is a video post. You actually need to go and create the content. Are you with me? That you need to go, I'm sure you guys all know that, so I won't harp on that, but you actually need to go and create posts on your page so that people can see your messages or your offers or your information that you want people to do. So a content strategy, and again, I'll get asked how often should we be posting, and the reality is that you should be posting once a day for a new page. There's many different schools of thought on when, what time of the day you should post, and and you should be in 2 or 3 posts. But in my experience, especially for a new Facebook page, I would be posting once a day. Again, very, very easy to do. Are there any questions regarding the page posts?
I've got a question.
Yes, Tova.
Thank you. So, so firstly, we need to actually have enough content to be able to post every day.
Correct.
Right. So that's the first thing.
Correct.
Okay. So I guess that's the first challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, there's a whole thing of who the post should go out to, the demographics. Is that what brings people to your page? Because right now, like, I've got a page and it's really just my friends, and I feel sorry for them if I have to post every day. Shame. You know.
Did you create a business page, or are you just posting it off your Facebook?
No,
You've
I've got a business page.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, to go back to that, the problem with Facebook is that Mr. Zuckerberg is a very smart guy. By you, how many Facebook fans have you got on that page? Do you know?
Maybe 300-400.
Okay. So what used to happen with Facebook is you used to get 100% organic reach, meaning if you make a post on your Facebook page, all 300-400 people would see it, right? Meaning those 300-400 Facebook fans that you've got, you created a post and you would say, hi, whatever your page was about, all 300 or 400 would actually see that post. It's called the organic reach. But a few years ago, Mr. Zuckerberg realized that he didn't have to offer why should he allow all those 300-400 people to see your post when he can charge you to hit them? So your organic reach on those, you almost would think that the 300-400 people will see that, but the answer is no. Only 10% of the people roughly will see that. So only 30 to 40 of those people will actually see it if you just post it on the page and you don't promote it, i.e. you don't do a paid ad.
Wow. Okay.
So
it's worth
that's the
doing
one,
a paid ad every day.
Yeah.
Every day, pretty much.
Well, we'll talk about the paid advertising now, but the common misconception is that, hi, Gary, I get these types of calls all the time. Hi, Gary, I've got 15,000 Facebook fans. I'm doing posting on Facebook and nothing's happening. And then Facebook have got the tools where you look at the audience insights and you look at what they do. And in reality, of those 15,000 people that he thinks he's posting to, only 1,500 have seen it's very, very sneaky on Facebook side, and it caused a lot of drama. But only roughly 10% of your fans will see your posts organically.
Okay.
So again, and they don't make that very, very apparent because they changed the rules 2 or 3 years ago. In the old days, all 15,000 would have seen if you posted. You with me? And Tova, I think you asked the question about the other challenge about the content. Now, there's 2 challenges about, again, very, very common stuff about, hi, Gary, yes, we would like to be posting on a Facebook page. You know, bigger businesses obviously have got the budget to be able to employ a graphic designer or outsource work to a graphic designer that they would be able to give them the content on a continual basis. But there are 2 little golden nuggets that I'd like to share with you all now that I'm not sure that you're all aware of. The first one is that there's
We've lost you.
Gary, we can't
We've
hear
lost
you.
Gary. We can't hear you. Your golden
Gary.
nuggets are silent.
The sound on your side has gone down. I don't think he can hear us.
He can't. Should we phone him?
Gary, Gary, stop.
Gary.
Let me call him. Let me call him.
Okay.
Gary.
Sorry.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back. We stopped hearing you when you
hold
were
on.
telling us about your golden nuggets.
Let me just see what's
That's when you
happened
went
here.
quiet after that.
Am I back?
Yes,
Yes,
we can hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened there.
Gary,
Did you all hear the golden
you went
nuggets?
silent. You went silent as you were about to tell us about your golden nuggets.
Oh, and Sean said, great comment, Sean. Maybe Zuckerberg doesn't like the golden nuggets being shared. No, he does, because he makes more money.
That's why we went quiet.
when we. Yeah. What I was saying is that it's a challenge for a lot of small businesses to actually create the content that they need to post, with specifically with the images. Now, there are a lot of websites. There's a concept online called Creative Commons, and Creative Commons refers to images that people have created that they have granted you the license to use for all your online marketing. So what the dodgy people do is they go to Google and they would go do this. This is not allowed. But if you went to Google and you would go say plumber, and you went and grabbed this image, and you went to the image repository and you went and just downloaded these are licensed images. You can get sued if you actually go and take this image and use it on your Facebook page. But there are websites where the uploader, and like these are all what they call, this Pexels is a website that you guys should all go check out, where all of these images are free to be used on you could use them on your website, you could use them on your Facebook page, you could use them wherever you like, because they are what they call Creative Commons attribution. They've actually given you the rights to use them. And that was the golden nugget I wanted to show you, is that use Creative Commons images in your Facebook posting. By the way, you can get Creative Commons images on Google as well, just on this image search. Back to the image search. If you went over here and you went under the tool setting, and if you see usage rights here, Creative Commons license, and you did that filter, these are now Creative Commons. These ones you can simply go to Google and download and use, because these are the Creative Commons license images on Google image search. But in my experience, I found that Pexels, the actual quality of the images, it's a bit more of a mission to go and do and filter, etc. on Google. So Pexels is great. You can go and take whichever images you want that are Creative Commons images, and you can utilize it. So that's golden nugget number one. Questions? Anyone? I'm getting tired of my own voice, so somebody can ask a question. All right. Let's then move on to the next part, which is
The next golden nugget. Second golden nugget.
You only want golden nugget. So the next two things before we get to the general Q&A is measuring your Facebook marketing and the paid advertising. I'm going to touch on each of these because, as I say, we are running out of a little bit of time, and I want to spend as much time as we have on the Q&A. But the measurement and the beauty about Facebook is the measurement. I'm going to show you guys something quickly. The whole secret about Facebook is that every little piece of content that you post on Facebook is fully measurable. So you can see what is the demographic of the people that clicked on the content that you post. If you're doing advertising, you can see the same story. You can see, let me just try not to disclose too much info here, but let me show you guys something here.
That's the chemist.
You've got something called Facebook Audience Insights. Sorry, I'm rushing a bit here, but I'll find it for you now, where you can go and check the information regarding the people that are clicking on your posts. And the reason that is important is because, like I was explaining earlier, is that the real action happens is when you start doing remarketing. These are actually some remarketing audiences. When you start working and doing posts on Facebook, what you start doing is you start measuring which of your posts are getting more clicks, which of your posts are getting more people to contact you, which of your posts are getting more people to send your WhatsApp. Should we integrate WhatsApp? So the whole thing about Facebook is that everything that you do every piece of content that you post is fully measurable. And you can really start working out when you start going into it. You can start working out what type of posting is in, what type of ads are giving you the best results. Is it video ads? Are they carousel ads? Are they static image ads? What time of the day? Is it men? Is it women? What age group? All of this data is available to your posting, and you can actually take that data and it'll help you to improve your marketing going forward, both from the posting that you do as well as for the paid advertising. Make sense? And then the last thing that we should touch on before we get to the Q&A is the paid advertising. Now, you're all going to hate me for saying this, but by setting up a Facebook page and doing clever posting, yes, you will get some business. You will get some leads. You will get some inquiries. You will get some sales. But the real kind of benefit of having a business page is so that you can start doing paid advertising on Facebook. Facebook has got a paid advertising console where once your business page is set up, you can then go and set up a paid Facebook ads account. And all the posts that you do on your Facebook page, instead of literally like I was explaining to Tova, where you're posting it and you're hoping that your fans actually click on it and come to your audience, you can actually start marketing your posting, your posts and your content, your videos, your products to a much wider audience. And that's where the real action happens. That's where you will start seeing results, is when you start doing a little bit of Facebook paid advertising. The nice thing with, I'm not punting it, but the nice thing with Facebook paid advertising is that it is extremely cheap. You can start off with a budget of 20 or 30 Rand a day, and you can start testing what works, what doesn't work, and you can start really getting to grips with it. But the real beauty and the real reason that for putting up a Facebook page is so that you can start doing paid advertising. And that is when the real kind of your real success will start. That's when you can start utilizing things like the Facebook pixel, and you can really start getting your business marketing going. My point is that you won't really, as much as we've shown you how to get your business online, unfortunately, what's the negative of a golden nugget? But the downside is that by simply creating your page and doing posts over a period of time, maybe a year, you will start to generate a little bit of audience. But because Facebook limit the organic reach of your posts, there's no real point in just setting up a page and doing all these posts, because you won't really see significant results until you start paying for it. And unfortunately, that's the nature of the game. That's why Zuckerberg is as rich as he is. But that's why, and that's where the real action happens. When you set up your page, you set up your pixel, you create an ad account, and you start doing paid Facebook advertising. Even for a very small amount, you'll start to see some results. And we'll do the Q&A, but it's been a pleasure presenting to you all. And I hope I've answered a few questions. I hope I haven't been too long-winded or painful, but let's do a little bit of a Q&A before we end off.
So, Gary, there's a couple of questions in the chat box. Laurie has asked for your opinion on boosting posts. Is it worth it? Yes.
Okay. I'm looking at this now. So, yeah, Laurie, it's definitely, it's always niche dependent. So it depends on what you're trying to promote or what you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to get leads? Are you trying to get online sales? Do you have an e-commerce site? So yes, but it not only is it worth boosting, it's an essential to boost your posts. You've got to dip your feet in the water and test. You've got to target the audience that you think you want to see. Have a look at your content and have a look at your website. But absolutely, let me put it to you this way. There's no client that I work with that doesn't do paid Facebook advertising. And when I say paid advertising, a boosted post is one form of Facebook paid advertising. Then Charlene has asked, for a small business, what is a realistic monthly budget? Charlene, again, very common question. And the way to answer that is absolutely no one knows. So what I mean by that, the way to do it is whenever I start a paid or a boosted Facebook boosted campaign, is that you start off a campaign with a very small budget, let's say 50 Rand a day, and you run it Monday to Friday. You always run it on working hours, and you see what you got for that. You see what you got based on that spend. So the idea would be that, like I was telling you, is that everything is fully measurable. You would spend a little bit of money, say 50 Rand a day on a Monday to Friday. You would boost the content on or the post that you want to boost, and you would measure what that yielded. So it's almost like a trial, and it's what I advise my clients for. That's the same with Google advertising. The same principle applies. You need to see what your cost per result is. If your result is a sale, if your result is somebody filling in a contact page on your website, if your result is you want to generate as many people contact you on WhatsApp. But the only way to work that out is to put aside a budget Monday to Friday, run a trial campaign, and then see, because you will be able to measure exactly what you're getting for your advertising spend. So I can't give you the number, but I would say 50 Rand a day as an absolute minimum for a period of 5 days would be the very, very, very minimum. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Can I just add on a little bit to that question? I've tried to do campaigns. Somebody's done it for me professionally, and I don't think there's been one response from Facebook for my particular business. Going back to your stats, I might have missed the information, but what age group uses Facebook as a source of information of where to get services?
Very good question. So the demographics of Facebook are extremely wide. I mean, pretty much anyone from the age of 10 or 11 years old right through to the age of 65. It's split right amongst the population. There's no real kind of sweet spot. But the point, Charlene, is that if you wanted to target a specific age group or a specific gender or people in a specific location, so on Facebook, it would be, what is your business, just as a matter of interest?
I'm an audiologist, and the majority of clients are 65 plus, probably 75 plus.
Right. So you would be able to do a Facebook ad targeting the highest age group on Facebook is 65 plus. You would be able to do an ad to people aged 60. Basically in a particular area, if you wanted to go gender specific, you could say, I want to target people that are interested in kind of audiology products. You could say people that have visited the Deaf Foundation Facebook page. I could show you that, but you could hit your target audience of people over 65 in a particular area. That's got to do with the targeting of Facebook. It's not really the demographics of people who access the platform. So the answer to your question is you could most certainly target the people that you need to target.
Thank you.
Okay, pleasure. And then Anat is asking, is it possible to link your merchandise sold on the website to the Facebook? Another excellent question. Yes. Do you have Anat, do you have an e-commerce website? Sorry, Anat, are you there?
Yes, yeah. Yes, I do have a website, e-commerce.
Is it an e-commerce, meaning that people will actually, will check out on your site?
Yes. So I know with Instagram, you can actually have a link directly to the website. I wasn't sure about Facebook.
The same thing. What happens is both Facebook and Instagram have got the ability to create a shop on their platforms where your data feed, meaning all your products on your website, whether or not it's a WooCommerce, a Shopify, OpenCart, whatever your WooCommerce platform has,